are you guys? Ray coming to you from the PDC Fitness Center studio. Today I have a nice spin workout for you guys. The focus today is tempo intervals. So tempo intervals, what those are, today in particular it's going to be a 15-second hard workload going on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult. We're at like a 7 or an 8. So we're going hard, and then for 45 seconds we recover at like a 2 or a 3, low resistance, just letting your legs move while we recover for that duration. So it's more of an active recovery, lower intensity, followed by that 15-second high intensity interval. And again, it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10. So we're going to use the spin bike here. All I'm going to do, I already have my bike set up for today's workout. And just a quick review and make sure I'm set where I need to be. I'm going to make sure at the bottom of my pedal stroke, my knee is fairly straight. It's not locking out, but it's pretty straight. Once I know I'm there, my handlebars are set up even with my seat, so I'm going to be good there. As far as my setback goes, if I go horizontal with the pedals here, my knee stays right over my ankle joint, so I'm also good there. If I come down onto my elbows, my back's at about 45 degrees. So the first thing we're going to do today, we're using the light fitness cycle, magnetic resistance. I have light resistance. I'm just going to start pedaling, make sure everything feels good. For me, I like choosing power training. You guys don't have to. You can do quick start. Doesn't matter what type of bike you have. I like knowing the 5 cardio zones. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I just go through my settings here, set my fitness level, put in all my metrics, set my threshold, which you don't have to do necessarily. If you have just like a heart rate monitor, that's fine. You have your 5 cardio zones, so I'm just going to talk through that with you guys while I'm warming up here. My warm-up is in zone 1, maybe pushing into zone 2. Zone 1 is going to be 50 to 60% of my max heart rate. So for me, like my max heart rate is going to be around 175-ish, give or take, maybe 180. I'm going to go 50 to 60% of that. I'm staying around like 115 while I'm warming up. I can use my watch here to know what I'm doing, so that's kind of nice. Conversational. Even if I get into zone 2 at that 60 to 70%, that would still be conversational. We just want to warm up. So I've got pretty light resistance on here right now. I can move pretty freely. Pedals aren't going to have any problems moving. I'm not straining while I'm doing this. Like I can obviously talk to you guys, so that's kind of nice. As far as my positioning, I like to kind of have my elbows down. Feels pretty comfortable for me. My back's at about 45 degrees. Everything's feeling good. So typically I recommend a 2 to 5 minute warm up. We're going to do about 3 minutes today. And then we're going to start with those tempo intervals. So again, to review, they're going to be 15 seconds of that higher intensity on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, about a 7 or an 8. So not all out, but pretty tough. Something we can sustain for that 15 seconds, but also we should be able to recover over 45 seconds. So like what I'm doing right now would be my recovery zone 1, maybe zone 2. When I'm working, my heart rate might spike a little bit, might go into zone 5, probably zone 3 or 4. That's fine. You'll average out to it being more of a cardiac output method or zone 2, if we took an average of your heart rate. So, I mean, I like to know heart rate. Do you have to? No. You can just put in the zones, like on here. It just asks for gender, weight, fitness level. Put in all that information. It'll give you an estimate of what zone you're in, so you can use the 5 zones. It also has the colors on here, so if you guys have done class with me, you're going to know that. So today I'll go by the zones, even though I have the heart rates on my watch. Heart rate's going to be a little more accurate. Combination of the two is fine. You may find that they don't match up because this is an estimation on the bike. So just get those legs moving. We want to warm up. I'm going to add just a little bit more resistance. Now that I'm starting to warm up a little bit, everything feels pretty good. Again, with my handlebar position, I have a slight bend in the elbows here. This feels good for me. You want to make sure you're comfortable on the bike. If you guys come in and do a class with us, you're not sure how to set up your bike, come a little early. One of the instructors will help you guys get set up. Won't take long. So if you're following along, start ramping up just a little bit more. I might do 1 or 2 warm-up rounds before I actually get going, or I might use the first 2 rounds to just kind of use them as a ramp up to get that heart rate up, so I'm not just going full tilt without being warmed up. So I have the intervals pre-programmed on my watch. Do you need an app? No, but having a timer does help keep you on track so you don't lose track. You might have a bike or a piece of equipment that has built-in programs where you can put in the program for your times. That certainly would work. I have this stuff on my watch today so I don't deviate because I'll be blabbing to you guys while we're trying to work here. Probably won't be conversational during the actual work because it's going to be tough. But when we recover, hopefully I can talk to you guys a little bit. So I'm going to go another 30 seconds here, and then we're going to start. So I definitely know I'm in zone 1, almost zone 2. That's what it says on here, because I can still talk to you guys. If I'm not talking, it means I'm working, and that's a good thing. What I would say to anybody, if you're feeling tired, lightheaded, dizzy, stop, slow it down, ramp it down, and seek out medical attention. And that's not a joke. If you're not feeling good, don't fight through it. That's not a good idea. So just make sure you're feeling all right. Make sure you had something to eat throughout the day at some point. So we're going to start that first one in 3, 2, 1. So here we go. I'm going to add a little resistance. I'm going to get after it here for 15 seconds. So I have 3, 2, 1, and now I'm recovering for 45 seconds. So this is an active recovery, low intensity, a 2 or 3 out of 10 at most. We can still talk, or I can still talk to you. First one wasn't too bad. It'll start to catch up to you. Here's my 10-second warning. That's why I like having this pre-programmed, so I have no excuse. Can't get distracted. And here we go. Add a little resistance, and we're going. So we're pushing. I'm hitting zone 4, zone 5, and I'm recovering. So I take off a little resistance. Do you have to change the resistance? Not necessarily. You can go from a slow cadence to a fast cadence, and that'd probably be good enough. I like to add a little bit of resistance. For most of these, we're going to stay seated today. If you wanted to do like a slower cadence standing climb, you certainly could. That could be your high intensity. Always have a towel. There's my 10-second warning. We're going to go again on round 3. I'm going to start ramping up just a little bit. And we're going. Increasing my speed. So I'm right in zone 4, just about zone 5. Three, 2, and time. I'm going to take off a little resistance and slow it down. 3 in the books of a scheduled 15 rounds. Title fight. We got it today, though. So I'm doing the whole workout for you guys. I could have just told you what to do, but I'm doing it too, so I expect you guys to do the whole thing. Or come in and see me for a one-on-one session. 10-second warning. Here we go, add a little resistance, let's get after it. Round 4. Hitting zone 5. We're pushing. Drive those legs. That means me, I guess. And we're recovering. Starting to feel it a little bit, but this should be sustainable. This is not necessarily like a high intensity, all out effort. It's hard, but it's not all out. And I realize it's kind of subjective, that's why I give you kind of a RPE scale, rate of perceived exertion, no more than an 8. Because over this 15 minutes of working, we want to average a zone 2 heart rate, so like 70%. All right, here we go. Round 5. We're pushing, we're pushing. Got my RPMs up, we're in zone 5. And recover. Back into zone 1, maybe zone 2. You really want to use that 45 seconds to recover. You want to be ready to go for the next interval. If you go too hard during your recovery, you're going to start tapering off. We want to be able to sustain these intervals. That's why they are tempo intervals. Get ready to go again. 3, 2, 1, we're going. So I'm speeding up. 10 more seconds. Fight through it, you guys, let's go. And recover. 6 down. Whew, starting to feel it. Just want to make sure we're recovering. So if you're doing a workout like this on your own, maybe you got your headphones in, you got your music, I definitely recommend that. Maybe even a podcast or something to listen to distract you. But make sure you have your timer and you adhere to it. Here we go. Let's go again. Speed it up. Add a little resistance. Round 7. Let's go. And recover. Back into zone 1 or zone 2. Seven down. 8 to go. Or 9 to go. We'll see. Maybe a bonus round. Next one, we're going to do a standing climb. Slower cadence, moderate to heavy resistance, so we don't spin out of control. So I'm going to add that resistance. Now I'm going to stand it up. Hands are going to go out to the front. Hips are still back towards the saddle. And we're driving those legs. A moderate to heavy resistance climb. Finish it out. And have a seat, take off that resistance to recover. So we'll go standing climbs the rest of the way. For these bikes, you gotta stay above 50 RPMs to get a reading on the zones. So if you see the white light, if I'm in zone 1, when I'm climbing, because I'm not going fast enough. So I gotta stay above 50. It's like the movie Speed. Stay above 50. Ten-second warning. Adding that resistance, and I'm up. I'm driving those legs, a lot of resistance here. Resistance level goes into 100, up to 100. I'm in the 70s, I'm in zone 5. Luckily it's short enough I can still talk to you guys, and then have a seat, take off that resistance. So I'm letting those legs move with a light resistance for me to recover for that 45 seconds. Round 10 is coming up. Ten-second warning. Get ready to go again. Here we go. I got resistance. Back in the 70s. I'm pushing. Staying above 50 RPMs. I'm going to bring those elbows down and really push those hips back. Hit my hamstrings a little bit here. And have a seat. Take off the resistance and recover. 10 in the books. Round 11 coming up. So something of this nature, these intensity levels and the recovery duration, I recommend 15 to 20 rounds, making sure you warm up and cool down at the end. Should take you about a half hour. Here we go again. Add resistance, and we're up. What would I do without this timer? I would be distracted. I'd be looking at the clock on the bike. Here we go, we're pushing. Drive those legs. Climbing that short hill. Have a seat, and recover. Plenty of time. We got about 6 minutes left here. If I can make it, you guys can. Ten-second warning. And we'll go another standing climb. Okay, we're back up. Ready or not, we're going. Hands out in the front, hips are back. Drive into those pedals. Gotta push them, stay above 50 RPMs. Have a seat. Whew. It's getting harder, for sure. But like I said, these are not all-out intervals. It's also not a dead stop on your recovery. It's in the middle. It's an active recovery, active rest. Round 13 coming up. Let's do it. Adding that resistance. We're back at her. We're back at it. Let's go. Staying a little more upright this time. I need the oxygen in. Kind of going off the screen. Oh, have a seat. Whew. 2 rounds left, and then we're going to cool down. Hope you guys are hanging in there. I'm I'm trying to sell it that I'm not tired. I really am. Believe me. I'm trying not to suck air over here, but I'm starting to feel it for sure. All right, here we go again. Adding that resistance. And we're up. Hips off the saddle. I'm going to keep my elbows down this time. I'm going to go after my hamstrings again by keeping my hips back. Have a seat. And we'll recover. Sweat's coming down. I should have the fans on, but I don't want you guys to hear it in the video. Whew. All right, we got one more coming up. We're gonna get after it on this last one. We're going for it. This last one, we're gonna stay seated. We're gonna try to get our RPMs between 120 and 130 with a moderate resistance level, 30s or 40s. And let's go, let's get those RPMs up. 120 to 130 RPMs, 15 seconds. Ooh, we're barely holding on. Zone 5, 3, 2, and 1. Take your resistance all the way down in the teens, maybe the 20s. Get into zone 1. We're gonna cool down. I recommend, again, like a 2 to 5 minute cool down. Anytime you're doing something that's a little higher intensity, you don't want to just abruptly get off the bike or any piece of cardio equipment for that matter. We want to kind of ramp down a little bit, let our heart rate come down, get our blood pressure back to normal, get closer to a resting state. Let that parasympathetic nervous system kind of kick in and help with recovery. Because right now, I'm feeling it. So, and you guys should be too. So, again, what we did today, tempo intervals, 15 seconds on, 45-second rest. So that's over a minute duration. We did 15 rounds. We did about 3 minutes with our warm-up. We'll do about the same with our cool down. We'll do a few stretches. 30 minutes, you're in and out. Again, these tempo intervals, overall, we're thinking cardiac output method. So zone 2, 60 to 70% average over the whole time. We're hitting higher than that during the working part of the interval, but then it's coming back down during the active recovery. So we should average somewhere for the duration of this about 20 minutes. Zone 2, maybe zone 3 tops. But everyone's going to be a little different based on their fitness level, genetics, higher or lower heart rate, fitness level. So zone 2 heart rate, good for longevity, improving stroke volume, lowering blood pressure, helping with vasodilation of the blood vessels, helping them expand. That's why zone 2 is important. Not that the other zones aren't good, but if you're thinking from a longevity standpoint, long life, healthy heart, cardiac output method, aerobic fitness, zone 2 is the way to go. This is a way to make it a little more fun by doing these tempo intervals rather than just going at a flat rate the entire time. But if you want to know more, come see me for a one-on-one session. Starting to put more of my strength programs for clients. Can't forget about aerobic conditioning, it's very important. All right, so my heart rate's come back down. I can obviously talk to you guys, blab a little bit. I'm gonna easily step off the bike here. I'll probably get some water after this, make sure you guys stay hydrated. A few things I like to use here, just as far as the bike goes for some support. I like to do my figure 4 hip stretch. So I'll hold on to the bike and you can go to the side, the front. I'm just gonna stay on the side here so you guys can see me. I'm gonna take my ankle over my knee and just gently lean forward and sit back a little bit. If you need to, you go 2 hands on, or you go to the front of the bike and grab with 2 hands. Make sure this isn't causing any pain in the knee. And I'm just gonna hold for about 20 seconds. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So again, this is called a figure 4, ankle over the knee, sit back, hold for balance. Stretch on that hip should be right out here. Hitting that piriformis. Straighten up. I like to do a little bit of work with the quad if you can reach. If not, there's alternatives you can do, but I'm gonna grab the opposite foot. You can grab the same side. It doesn't make a huge difference. I'm gonna lift up a little bit, but I'm not gonna pull real hard. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tense my glute muscle. So tense my butt, squeeze. That glute muscle contracts, you get a better stretch in the front side here, so you don't have to pull as hard. If you can't reach, if you have like a band, a belt, a rope, something to hook over the top of your foot so you don't have to reach as far, that works really good. So I'm gonna hit that other side. Again, I'm gonna tense on the back side here. That's gonna help really stretch my quad, my hip flexor area. I'm holding these for about 20 seconds. All right, so then I want to finish up a little hamstring stretch. What I'm going to do here is just kind of step forward with one foot. My back leg, I'm going to let the knee bend. I'm just going to show you guys from the side here. Bow to sensei, so my chest comes forward, slight knee bend in the front, pushing my hip back so I kind of feel the hip and the glute here, feel the hamstring and the calf on the front leg. After my 20 seconds, I switch up my stance, slight bend in that front leg, bend the back leg, push your butt and hips back, let that chest drop, calf, hamstring, really should feel that. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tempo intervals on the spin bike today. It's a good one, quick 20, 25 minutes. Kind of breaks it up so it's not so monotonous, just doing the same thing over and over again, and you guys are good to go. So take care, you guys.